What's going on, ladies and gents? Dangerous here, bringing you guys today some more Rainbow Six Siege gameplay. And today, let's talk about the new patch that just hit. I mean, everyone's pretty excited about that. Pulse is no longer the phenom of wall hacks, and things might actually seem a little bit balanced nowadays. So, let's get into it. The patch pretty much brought, the main focus of this was semi-automatic shotguns and pulse, as I mentioned before. Now, semi-automatic shotguns have gotten a bunch of damage reductions and changes, so I'm just going to leave a little graph up in the corner throughout the video, just so you can see where they've changed, and how OP some of them used to be. Like, I didn't realize the Spaz 12 was the goddamn Barrett 50 cal. Holy shit, Siege, what were you doing? Anyways, so, with that being said, let's talk about pulse for a bit here. Now, I left in some content here where you'll see me spectating a teammate, and honestly, I suck with Pulse now. Like, well, I don't suck with Pulse, but he's definitely gotten the nerf to where he wasn't as powerful before. Pretty much one of his biggest strengths was the power of the whole, is what Ubisoft classified actually as a glitch, was if you swapped weapons on Xbox Y, PS4 triangle, and I don't know what it would be on, I'm assuming it'd just be your 1 key or whatever you had it bound to on PC. If you had your pulse sensor out and then you quickly swapped to your M1014, you would instantly be able to shoot through the wall because you had that one-to-one tracking with the heartbeat sensor and all that good jazz. And then you were essentially just a god at shredding through walls. That's not the case anymore. Now it's kind of like, okay, I have my heartbeat sensor out, I gotta put it away. It takes some time now because you gotta go through the full animation. Pull up my M10, okay, the guy's probably made relocate, now you start spraying through a wall, now you look like a dumbass with your dick in your hand. There's now a little bit more of a learning curve with Pulse. You've gotta really learn to lead your targets now, which is something if you're interested in wall banging. Now, if you're just one of those people that rush fucking balls deep with Pulse, it isn't too bad because now you get a general idea of where Pulse is, and he still has that strength that he used to have. But for wall banging and everything, it definitely becomes a little bit more difficult because the person could strafe in the meantime and stuff like that, and then you want to get shot their wall because you look like a fucking dumbass and all that shit, and it's not a good time, obviously. So that's pretty much it. So the gameplay I showed here is pretty much from the teammate that I had shared, if the gameplay's past or it's still going on now, was he used Pulse to scout out the area first. And then he made his movements around the objective, which is something that is pretty much going to be very strong with Pulse. Pulse in the last patch, the patch before the last patch, got, or the original Pulse buff where he got the stupid one-to-one tracking for like his heartbeat sensor. That now is definitely more of a team gadget. He can relay information better to his teammates and stuff like that. He's pretty much just like a mobile Valkyrie camera, if anything. And now this here has definitely earned more of a tactical use instead of, per se, just mowing people the fuck down use just because of its nerf that is received. So, with the other shotguns, I guess we can move on to that now, there is definitely a notable difference. Valkyrie shotgun was one that I adored and loved, obviously, as I didn't realize the stats, but looking at the stats, it explains a lot. Now it's been changed to like 35 max damage at a certain range, and then the drop-off starts, and yeah, stuff like that for each pellet. So it's really changed a lot. Valkyrie shotgun. I like where they're going this direction for semi-automatic shotguns. This is how they should be. Overall, I can't really complain too much about this change. This is something that was needed. Other than that, so I think the next place I need to work on is pump action shotguns. Now, this might sound weird for the topic of this video, but from the beginning of Siege, as soon as I found that there was actual semi-automatic shotguns in the game, I was actually quite... I had a feeling that they would be overpowered in the beginning. They would take a lot of time to work. God knows it took like almost a fucking year for them to actually fix them. But anyways, pump-action shotguns, I would have preferred them instead of just a fleet of semi-automatic shotguns, just because in a game like Siege, where it's a very unforgiving game when you die, obviously, you know, having the firepower of a semi-automatic shotgun was extremely powerful, and the pump-action shotguns have fallen a little short compared to their counterparts. So hopefully now that the semi-automatic nerf, maybe we can see a little bit of touch-up to the pump-action shotguns. They definitely deserve some love. They're not bad, but they're still not... There's still no... I haven't found any benefits of using them still over a semi-automatic shotgun, just because a semi-auto shotgun still has that firepower and constant spray down. Now, I know I could imagine they do a little bit more damage to pump action shotguns, but I wish they had maybe a little bit more oomph to them. Maybe a little something more, maybe a little bit of a range increase. Nothing too crazy. Maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Tell me what you guys think of pump action shotguns down below in the comment section. I don't know. I'm definitely not in love with them. They need a little bit of love, but they're not bad either, if you get what I'm saying here. Anyway, so I believe this patch also, there was some talk in the patch notes about increasing the shield's movement speeds, not bringing them up like a whole tier of speed, but apparently they were moving just even a touch too slow for what Ubisoft wanted them to be, and I guess they didn't realize it. So I think shields have had a slight speed increase, but they're not like from 1 speed to 2 speed. It's like maybe like a 0.5 of an increase. I've heard something about that. Ryan was telling me that was in the patch notes the other night. I haven't looked over them. The only patch notes I've looked at were the shotguns one. That's also the main focus of the video. So I guess now the side point of the video is what's next can we work for Rainbow Six Siege? What are some other things that we can look forward to and changing for Rainbow Six Siege? What are the next things Ubisoft should maybe focus on? Well, a lot of people may or may not experience this, but there's a lot of times where you get stuck on something you're trying to move on. Now, this typically happens on, say, a wardrobe, a shelf, or something like that, where the doors can be destructible. It seems the game kind of gets stuck in between this random hitbox, and your character freezes up, and you have to go, like, prone to get out of it. I'm pretty sure it's happened to many people, stuff like that. If you guys also haven't noticed, if you guys chill in a corner for a second, and you'll notice your character starts to bounce up and down, you also notice that your crosshair constantly resets every once in a while. Now, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but I've heard other people say this is an issue too, or this has been happening. Maybe if Ubisoft would smooth out some of the animations there, and hopefully you wouldn't get stuck, because there was a one time where I was going up against 3 other people, I was Buck, and I got stuck on this wardrobe like 3 times. I was so salty, it wasn't a good time. Stuff like that, a little smoothing here and there around the edges. I think the next big thing they need to look at, though, is nitro cells. Nitro cells have always been a problem in Siege. They're fucking overpowered as it is. Obviously, they need their throw distance reduced. They maybe need their blast radius a little bit reduced as well. Even if they don't reduce the blast radius, I would prefer that they reduce the throw distance. Or if they don't reduce the throw distance, I prefer that they reduce the blast radius and then the C4 has to hit the ground. I know in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 they have a system like that where the C4 has to arm itself after a while. They can try and pull off a system like that. But the nitro cell definitely needs to hit the ground first. This air bursting shit, it's getting old real quickly. Especially when you have a teammate that won't get off your fucking ass and you can't move backwards. And they're like, oh, let's go through the door. And there's a fucking nitro cell and you all get blown up. I know you could just say, well, it's an easy way around that guy. Just shoot him in the face. Yeah, but then you get voted kick and all this bullshit and people get salty and you're just like, oh, well. I don't know. Shit like that happens. Nitro Cell definitely needs a rework. I don't think everyone in the game needs a Nitro Cell. Like, I think characters that have... Now with actually Pulse's Pulse's change. If they reduce the blast radius, I would justify keeping a nitro cell on him, just because he can obviously blow people through walls and it'd be more advantageous. But to be honest with you, I don't think Caveira needs a... no, Caveira does need a nitro cell, because her weapons don't hit too hard. So she needs some sort of additional firepower to bring her up. But there's things like that. I feel like definitely some characters I wouldn't say don't need them. I don't think Capcan needs one. He's already got explosive EDD charges, and he's not meant for roaming. I don't think Smoke needs it. He's got his gas canisters, and his gas canisters also need a little bit of a buff too. They seem to be more smoke grenades for him than anything else, and yeah, it's not a... Obviously, no one else can use it but him, but that kind of sucks. And other than that, like, let's see. Bandit, I think, can keep one. Mute, I think, can keep one. Valkyrie, maybe? I don't know. I think she could be fine if people would really have to use her skillfully then, and then they'd actually... they'd have to utilize flanking a lot more. And that also makes some love for shields. But then blitzes run well. But obviously you'd have to save your nitro cell and use it more sparingly. So you guys, if you guys have a full team of nitro cells, you can't just waste a nitro cell on a thermite. You're actually going to want to save it in case they have a blitz or a fucking Mountain Dew over there, whatever his name is, how you pronounce it these days. And stuff like that. I really think that there should be more value to having a nitro cell, not like 6 people just throw it out a window and fucking, even there's no 6 people on the defensive team, why not? We'll add a 6th in there for some reason. But like earlier today when I was playing with the new patch and getting some footage, I downed a Blackbeard with a nitro cell, right? And then like our whole team had nitro cells, so this Capcan just walks up to the door after the Blackbeard gets revived and just blows them up again. Like everyone just has a nitro cell, it seems like, and it seems like those were ironically some of the most picked operators, barring Jaeger and Rook. Stuff like that. I definitely think they should maybe look into tweaking the nitro cell a lot, because if they're going to give it to a lot of players, they shouldn't have the lethality that they do. Now, I know that the offensive team has frag grenades, but they're nowhere as powerful as the nitro cell. The nitro cell, you can be way more precise with it. You don't need to time it or anything. You can just spam the button until it blows up, stuff like that, and you're most likely going to get a kill, and people can't escape and shit like that. Now, with a frag grenade, I've got kills with frag grenades, but there's just like this. You don't have Jaeger device that can take on stuff like that. Nitro cells, there really is no offensive operator that can per se take out a nitro cell mid-flight, unless you shoot it with godlike accuracy. But most times people are spamming the button, you're dead anyways if you're close enough and stuff like that. So nitro cells definitely, I do think, need a look at in the next big patch or season 4 or whatever they plan on doing. It should be definitely soon, because knowing Ubisoft's track record, we're gonna get a new operator. The chick, she'll be on defense. She'll have an SMG. She'll have a shotgun. She'll have a nitro cell probably. I would really like to see the Japanese operators have more team-based, mechanics, I guess. Maybe a 3 armor. They go 3 armor this time, and maybe they introduce a new shield. Maybe, I don't know. But something more team-orientated, something that actually makes an impact to the team, not a guy with a shield on his face that people bitch at, and then he can't fucking die because, haha, screw you. Buck isn't too bad. He can help the team. He can rip open stuff. And Capital, he is useful, but your team actually has to push in pretty much for him to be useful, and stuff like that. If your team's not aggressive, Capital's just got his thumb up his ass and stuff like that. Anyway, sorry, I went on a little rant there. So, if you guys haven't already, I've uploaded 2 videos today. One explaining our sub stream and charity stream. So, I know a lot of you guys have been begging for that, so make sure you guys go check out the details for that. It's very important. Obviously, charity is an important thing, and I hope to see you guys out there for the charity stream that's coming up on Saturday. Once again, go click the video on that. If I remember to, I'll leave the link in the description. If I don't, remind me in the comment section. Without further ado, I'm the Dangerous Bruce. Thank you guys so much for listening once again, and I'll see you sexy beasts in the next episode. Peace.